Alright, this is a question I'm gonna answer. Why do I have so many haters? This question comes up to, becomes a relevant question because there are some people out there that are potentially might be students. They do the research on me, and then they find a lot of hate videos of people that really don't like me, and they really have a hard time understanding, why there's people out there that don't like me. So I'm gonna explain the reasons of why. One thing I want to bring out is, some factual information, about people, great leaders out there, great people out there, great sages, whom, had a lot of resistance during their times. Everybody knows about Jesus Christ, and he, I think one of my students told me about this. Said, Hitler had over 12 million followers, but then Jesus only had like 12 disciples, and that was it. And then Jesus, during his time, he wasn't appreciated, and they ended up crucifying him. There's a lot of people that didn't like him during his time. But then now, people all over the world still worship him. It's just funny like that how things happen. Other people, you see all these people get assassinated. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, they get assassinated. So obviously there's people out there that don't like him, that hate them, and that's why they're dead. Somebody like Tupac Shakur gets killed. There's people out there that don't like him. I consider Tupac Shakur a great artist. I consider Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King great, great leaders. Socrates as well. People didn't like him, so then they had to kill him. Osho, one of my great teachers. People really didn't like him. The government hated him. He had a lot of people that did not like him. Like no matter what, all great leaders, there's gonna be people that don't like you. It's just the way it goes. If you're a good person, there's gonna be people that don't like you. If you're a bad person, there's still gonna be people that don't like you. So it goes either way. There's always gonna be people that don't like you, and that's something that I've always learned to accept. As far as specific to my situation, I like to make a clear example that's very relevant to what's going on with me. If you watch this movie called Concussion starring Will Smith, if you take the time to watch the video, watch the movie, it's really relevant to my situation. The doctor that stars, that Will Smith is portraying in the movie, and it's a real life person, true story, Dr. Omalu. He's a great scientist, or somebody who really knew about brains, and he ended up pretty much discovering this thing called CTE, and he basically just exposed the dangers of like football, and how even when they wear helmets, they're still receiving an immense amount of damage to their brains. This was a huge discovery, and when that happened, a lot of the people hated him. He thought they would thank him, but they didn't thank him. A lot of people hated him, and he had a huge, very tough time throughout his entire life after he discovered, this thing called CTE. And I liken his experiences to my own, because basically the reason why people don't like me is because I'm exposing the dangers of combat sport, and I'm also exposing the falsities of combat sport. I'm exposing how combat sport is not martial arts. Boxing is not martial arts. Wrestling is not martial arts. Pro wrestling is not martial arts. Olympic wrestling is not martial arts. High school wrestling is not martial arts. Kickboxing is not martial arts. Muay Thai is not martial arts. Cage fighting is not martial arts. Even though they try to call it MMA, mixed martial arts, it is not martial arts. According to my studies, according to my understanding, all these things that people are associating as martial arts is not martial arts. And when I take that stance of course there's going to be so many people that hate me because they think they are practicing martial arts. But then here some person comes along and says, no, you are not practicing martial arts. They take a huge offense to that. Okay? During Bruce Lee's time, he was speaking against the traditional martial arts and the problems associated with traditional martial arts. So there were a lot of traditional martial artists that didn't like him because he was criticizing their ways. But his friends at the time were pretty much the combat sport people at that time. So he had another group of people that supported him. But for me, I'm criticizing not just the combat sport fighters, but I'm also criticizing the traditional martial artists as well, because there's problems over the associated with their expression as well. Pretty much Bruce Lee already exposed their problems. And here I am seeing what Bruce Lee saw, but then also seeing the problems with combat sport. So basically, I really don't have any friends. I don't have friends coming from the combat sport because I'm criticizing their ways. And then I don't have friends coming from the traditional martial arts because I'm criticizing their ways as well. So basically, there's going to be an immense amount of people all over the world that practice martial arts that will not like me. Okay? Because I'm criticizing their ways. And the people that I'm giving credit to are typically people that are already famous or people that are already dead. And they don't care for my support because they don't need it. So they're not going to really be out there supporting me against all this hatred that's coming at me. Most of my teachings, I'm guiding people towards Bruce Lee. I'm saying, hey, if you want to learn the real martial arts, then go learn from Bruce Lee. Learn from his movies, learn from his books. Do not pay attention to what you see in combat sport, in the MMA, in the cage fighting, the UFC, Dana White, all these people out there exploiting the martial arts for profit. Basically just gathering up a bunch of people to be violent, and then under the disguise of martial arts, and I see problems associated with all these expressions out there, from Muay Thai to cage fighting to boxing to just everything. And back in the past, I learned the hard way that expressing my ideas in an explicit manner, informally, unprofessionally, it turned a lot of people very aggressive, very violent. I received a lot of death threats. I received a lot of hate mail. I've received people would damage my reputation, doing whatever they possibly could to damage my reputation, to stop me from doing what I'm doing, from expressing myself. They literally took away my entire YouTube channel, and I was told that I'll never be able to come back to YouTube. So they destroyed my YouTube channel. They took it away. They continued to try to destroy my business, by destroying my reputation and trying to, convince people not to train with me and things like that. They've tried so hard to stop me. And I've learned that through all these experiences, I need to speak less. I need to just do my thing, live my way, and just let people do what they want to do. If they want to kill each other in the cage, if they want to kill each other in the streets, if they want to eat junk food, if they want to take drugs, if they want to smoke, if they want to just die early, if they want to get CTE, then just go ahead and do that. While I continue to live my way, express my way in the martial arts, express positivity. And that's what I choose to do. So I've eliminated, for the most part, most of all my negative expression out there because I don't want to bring that hatred towards me. But these people have not forgotten about the things I've said in the past, and they are very upset at me because of my approach. But even if I approached it from a professional way, I would still receive a lot of hatred coming my way. Because you see somebody like Dr. Amalu, from that movie Concussion, for example, he's professionally addressing the problems with football and concussions and CTE, but yet he still received an immense amount of hatred from people all over the world because so many people love football And when you tell them that football is dangerous, when you tell them that children should not practice football, you're going to have an immense amount of people coming after him. And they did. He even received death threats himself, simply because he's trying to forewarn the public of how dangerous this sport is. For me, I'm trying to forewarn the public just to let them know, to have some common sense. To realize that, killing each other in the cage is not healthy. It'll lead to early death. It'll lead to CTE. It'll lead to all sorts of dangerous, deadly outcomes. And in addition, it is clear, at least in my eyes, that it is not martial arts. It has nothing to do with martial arts. And I'm just stating my opinion, based on my studies, my research, my experiences. And that's why a lot of people hate me, because they don't like what I have to say. And it's like speaking against the NFL. Of course you're going to have a lot of hatred, because majority of the world loves the NFL, at least in America. And I asked the question, well, why do so many people in America hate the Muslims? When you got somebody like Donald Trump that's openly being racist towards them, or people that are just upset at Muslims for whatever reasons. The media has control over people's minds and being able to lead a group of people against whatever group of other people that they want to be against. And for me, I really feel, I know that cage fighting is not the way. I know that it is extremely unhealthy. I know that it's extremely dangerous. I know that it is not the martial arts. I don't need anybody to support me in what I already know. I don't need Bruce Lee to be resurrected from his grave to tell me that cage fighting is not the way. I already know it's not the way. And I don't care if the entire world is against me. I know that what I'm standing for is what's right. And I don't care if everybody hates me because I say that violence is not good for the society. To me, cage fighting is even more inhumane and even worse than dog fighting. And everybody knows out there, the government knows, the people know, that dog fighting is not good. And it's something that should never be allowed. It should never be legal. It should never be profited from. But essentially, we have two human beings that are behaving worse than dogs, killing each other, but then somehow that is acceptable, socially acceptable. And I have a huge problem with that. Just like how people would have a huge problem if they saw dogfighting events being broadcasted in bars across the world, being broadcasted all over social media, being broadcasted on pay-per-view. And then they're making newspapers talking about how great the dogfighting was and who died and who won and everything. To me, cage fighting is just as bad as dogfighting, if not worse. Just as bad as child pornography, if not worse. And I feel that cage fighters should be frowned upon within the society, just as how pedophiles are frowned upon within the society. That's my personal opinion. But yet everybody, not only are they not frowning upon these cage fighters, but they're putting them on pedestals and idolizing these individuals as if they are great people. To me, I think there's something seriously psychologically wrong with that. It's like you're putting Hitler on a pedestal, but then you go ahead and crucify Jesus Christ, who's representing something humble and modest and peaceful and with wisdom. I mean, this society, to me, is just, there's a lot of things that are flipped upside down. And I'm just basically exposing the corruption that I see. And that is exactly why everybody hates me. Because I'm exposing corruption. The same reason why people might hate on whistleblowers is the same same reason why people don't like me. Because when they see me, it reminds them of the lie that they're living. You know? And it's like my background, you know, I'm Chinese American. My parents are from Hong Kong. My last name happens to be Lee. Bruce Lee's last name was Lee. He's Cantonese. My background is Cantonese. He's from Hong Kong. My roots come from Hong Kong. I mean, I think like him. I even look like him. And I feel that I'm here unofficially to carry on his teachings. And I'm here saying that everybody that thinks that he is the father of MMA or the inspiration towards MMA, that they're completely wrong. I'm here to tell them that they're wrong. And there's millions of people out there that support this MMA. And that's why there's going to be millions of people that don't like me. So I'm saying that everything that they're trying to say that's associated with MMA is because of Bruce Lee. I'm saying that they're wrong. And nobody likes to hear that they're wrong. So I'm sharing my ideas and my vision of what I feel is the real martial arts. And not only am I supported by Bruce Lee, but I'm also supported by Jet Li. If you pay attention to his movies, if you pay attention to his interviews, if you read his books, even if you go into Wikipedia and you read about him, you'll see that he doesn't support cage fighting. Neither does Jackie Chan. And even Jason Scott Lee. And these are real Chinese people. Jet Li's a Chinese person, Bruce Lee's a Chinese person, Jackie Chan's a Chinese person, Jason Scott Lee is an Asian background. It's like, you got the Chinese people saying that, hey, you know, this is not the right thing for this is not martial arts. What you guys are doing is an abuse of the martial arts. And the same reason why the Wing Chun community, Yip Man, did not want Bruce Lee to share the martial arts with Westerners is because of the fear of what they would learn would turn into what they associate with MMA today. And voila, this is exactly what happened. Exactly what Yip Man was warning Bruce Lee about is exactly what happened. They use what they learn to abuse it, to gain control over other people, to bully other people. This is an abuse of power. And it already happened with the Japanese taking the martial arts from the Chinese and abusing the powers over the Chinese. And then now America just takes from the Japanese, takes from the Chinese, takes from the Thai, and just abuses what they learn to use against the people that are smaller, weaker, and to people that they view as inferior to themselves. And I'm here to step in to say that this is wrong. That what you guys are doing with the martial arts is wrong. This is not martial arts. I don't care how fit you are. I don't care how great you are at fighting. You are not a martial artist. You're a fighter. You're a bully. You're a bad person. You're a criminal. And that's why people don't like me. Because they don't want to be told that what they're doing is wrong. And I'm saying what you're doing is wrong. And I'm just saying that point blank. Martial arts is not meant to jump into a cage, jump into a ring, or go out in the streets to fight for money, to hurt people for profit, or to hurt people for free just because it's fun. Not because you need to do it because your life is on the line, but you're just hurting people because it's fun. That's like somebody just going to kill animals not because he needs to eat, not because he's starving, But he's just killing animals because it's fun. He goes shoots some birds here and there, shoots some squirrels, shoots some dogs, shoots some cats, shoots some deer, shoots lions, shoots whatever just for fun because it's fun. And I'm saying that's wrong. So I don't care if you know how to fight. You don't just beat people up because it's fun, and you don't just beat people up because you want to show off. And you want to get famous. And you want to get laid. And you want to get some money. So you're just beating people up to impress people. That's not what the martial arts is about. And I'm just making it clear that that is not martial arts. That's not what I represent. And that's not what the real martial artists represent. So basically, I'm saying that everybody out there, 99% of the people out there are not practicing the real martial arts. They're practicing something else. And then they're calling it martial arts. And I'm saying, don't call what you practice martial arts because you're not a martial artist. Because by you claiming yourself as a martial artist, you're destroying the reputation and the credibility of all the real martial artists out there. So it's like a police officer that's corrupted and then still calling himself a police officer. Well, now you're destroying the reputation of all the real police officers out there that aren't corrupted. So I'm here to make that separation. That the real martial artists out there are not the ones that are bullies. They're not the ones that compete. They're the ones who are meditators. They're the ones who are artists. They are the creators. They are not destroyers. They are not aggressors. They are not people that are violent. And I just want to make that very clear to the people out there. And because I'm so passionate about the martial arts, that's why everybody hates me. Because nobody else even cares to speak up for the martial arts. Because to them, they don't care. Everybody just wants to make money off the martial arts. But in order to care for something, it has to be a part of you. So if you're black, and there's people out there being racist towards blacks, and you care about your roots, then you're going to stand up against that racism. That's why there's a lot of anger when you're racist towards people of a certain race. And then they're going to protect themselves. So when I see a lot of people attacking the martial arts, destroying the reputation of the martial arts, and I stand up against it, is because martial arts is very important to me. And to see it, the reputation being severely damaged right before my eyes while I'm living, I feel I need to do something. I need to at least say something. Because it's not right what I see. So inevitably, there will always be people out there that hate me, and that's okay. You know, because it's not about getting the most customers that I could possibly get. No. Because I'm already telling everybody out there, 99% of the people out there want to practice combat sport, and I'll tell them right away, I'm not going to teach you. Go somewhere else. So I'm turning down business. And that's for a reason, because I stand up for something greater. It's not all about the money. It's about teaching the right people. And 99% of the people out there don't deserve to learn. And that's the truth. So I will sacrifice business for truth. And I've been doing that since I've been on YouTube. And I don't care how many people out there hate me, because I'm true to myself and I'm just going to live the way. And I'll find another way to make money. I don't need the support of the fake people out there in this world. So when you got a real person out there, it's a guarantee. There'll be millions of fake people that hate you. And I'm telling you right now, I'm one of the realest people out there that you'll ever meet. And that's it.